There are lots of good reasons to move to Los Angeles because there's so much to do there, there's so much to see. But today I'm just going to talk about 3 good reasons to move there. So if you're thinking about it, if you're trying to weigh the pros and cons of should I move there or not, maybe these 3 will help you a little bit in your decision. The first reason to move is if you have an interest in the entertainment industry. If you have an interest in acting or filmmaking, or you want to be on set, you want to see or learn as much as you can about the business, well, LA is a great place to do that because there are so many opportunities. It's insane. I didn't realize just how many opportunities there were until I got there. Like what happened with my personal experience is I've been wanting to move there since I graduated from high school, but my parents weren't too thrilled about that, so they kind of encouraged me to be, you know how people say, be more realistic, because I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and at the time we didn't really have a film industry here. We do now, but back then there wasn't really much of one. So all we saw around here was just like the typical office jobs. You work at UPS, you work at the local university. And although those jobs, they're fine, that's not what I was interested in. But it's what my parents saw as realistic and attainable. So because they were older and I trusted them, I said, okay, let's not move to Los Angeles then. I won't do that. And so for 12 years I didn't, and that's okay because I still got to travel every now and then, and it's okay. But I did jobs that I didn't really enjoy here, a lot of office jobs that I just did to get by. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, I don't care if I make it or not. I don't care if I'm being unrealistic. I'm just gonna move because I need to just go. And I did. And when I got there, I was like, it's so not unrealistic to want to get a job in the entertainment industry and move to Los Angeles. It's completely realistic because there are literally an insane amount of jobs. The thing is, though, they don't all pay well. And you have to keep trying, keep networking, and keep putting yourself out there. And have a little nest egg set up because, like I said, at first you don't make a lot of money there. I know I sure didn't. But the experience that I got was it was incredible, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. I made a friend out there who kept referring me to jobs. And I'm really shy, and I do horrible on job interviews. So a lot of times the jobs that she would refer me to, I did not get, because I was so shy on the interviews. But I did get 2 of the jobs. And those were like the best jobs that I ever had. Literally every morning that I went to work, I would get teary-eyed because I was so thrilled to be going to this place where I would work with these producers of movies that I admired since I was a little kid. I couldn't believe that I was working there. And then I got to see these famous actors and actresses every day, and these people who I admired. It was like a little bit of a dream come true for me. So if I can do that with my shy, dorky self, then you can definitely do that if you have an interest in the entertainment industry. So don't think that it's unrealistic to go there and to make it. Another reason to move to Los Angeles is to give back. That city was recently listed as one of the top 10 cities in the U.S. with the most amount of homeless people. It has over 40,000 homeless people. And that's why a lot of the people who have been successful, like successful artists and entrepreneurs who moved out there, they've opened nonprofits and all sorts of foundations that help their neighbors and peers who haven't been quite as successful just yet. And they help them kind of get back on their feet. So if you're looking to give back, of course you can do that in your own local community. But if you come from a smaller city like I do and you want to give back in a more challenging location where there's a bigger need, then Los Angeles is a place to consider, because it's not just Beverly Hills. And even in Beverly Hills, there's homeless people. But I remember driving through like this part of the city that looked like a little village of tents. On both sides of the street, you just saw these people with their little tents and boxes set up because they didn't have anywhere else to live. So it's definitely a place to go if you're looking to give back. A third reason to move to Los Angeles, and this might seem kind of silly to some people, but it's a big deal to me because, once again, I will say this, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and from what I've noticed, everyone's perspective is different, but from what I've noticed and seen, the people in my local community, myself included, many of us seem to be very depressed, poor, and sad. And it comes across in the way we treat each other. When I'm driving down the highway, for example, if I put on my blinker, no one will let me over. In fact, they will drive faster. It's crazy. People are just mean here. If I go to McDonald's, I'm almost scared to approach the person behind the counter because they're like, they don't look me in the eye. They're just like looking at their nails. And the words that come out of their mouth, a lot of times it's not even words. It's just like, man, take your order. What you want? What you need? It's like they don't like where they want to be. And I completely understand, because most of the jobs I've had here, I don't want to be there either. And I've answered phones like, can I help you? I've done it too. And so that's why when I moved to Los Angeles, I was like shocked. I just completely floored by how friendly people were. When I walked into a fast food restaurant, like the girl behind the counter, she looked up, she made eye contact with me, which is insane, eye contact, and then she smiled and was like, hi, can I take your order? I didn't know how to respond to that. It took me just a minute to pick myself up from the floor and then like look at the menu and realize that I needed to say something in response. So it was something. And even walking down the street, like here, when I'm walking down the street, most of the time people don't look at me. Like they will go out of their way to avoid looking at me. Especially if they're like a different race than me. And it makes me feel really, really small and like unimportant and sad. But that's just the way it is here. But in Los Angeles, like, people don't do that. Like, they look at you like you're an actual human being. I will say that, like, in the nicer areas, at first there was the clutching of the purse. Like, they'd see me and they'd clutch their purse. But then after the initial blackophobia wore off, they'd be like, and they'd smile and make eye contact and move on. And I was just like, I'm a person. So if you want to feel like a person and not some sort of invisible monster, then Los Angeles is a nice place because people there are typically well-mannered. And I've heard like some people say, oh, they're just being fake. Well, it might not always be like the goodness of their own heart that's making them be so friendly, maybe. But I don't care. I just like that they're acknowledging me as a human being and that they're well-mannered enough to do that. I miss that about LA, and I think it's a good enough reason to move back, to be honest. So those are just 3 little reasons to move to Los Angeles. If you have an interest in the entertainment industry, go there. That was the other one. If you're looking to help out in a local community, LA is definitely a place that could use some help. And thirdly, if you just want to be in a place where people are generally well-mannered, then LA, surprisingly enough, it offers quite a bit of that. Okay, that's just my perspective, and maybe yours is different, which is fine. But that's what I would say are some reasons to move there. All right, I'm gonna go eat some food now because I'm really hungry.